Hi, Annie here, and I'm back again for a movie and TV show haul. I thought I'd take advantage of this like overcast but glary day to film. I can't do full sun, so thought I'd take advantage of the weather today. I'm still having a fair bit of trouble sitting up, not quite as bad as last time, but I've got something here to kind of, I'm propped up, but I'll have to see how long I can go here, especially lifting stuff. So anyway, if you're new here, hello, and also this must all seem strange. I'd been off for a while due to ill health, but I'm doing my best to be back. And if you're back and maybe this is the first one you've watched since I've been back, hello, I'm glad to be back. And yeah, I've missed doing this so much, and so this is a haul of movies and TV show I bought kind of over the last year, or that I was gifted, or whatever, just stuff that I got over the last year. So I thought I'd do this video, and the first thing I'm going to hold up, I'm going to actually try to, it is Mannix, and it's a full season, but it's all the individual ones. So I've got 4 here and 4 here that I decided to kind of bite the bullet and do. The new box set was coming out, and I'd really had my eye on it. I love these kind of mystery shows, and I'd watched a few episodes of Mannix over the years, so I knew I'd had my eyes on getting it. But this, to buy them singly, but together, came out to, they went on for a really good price right as the box set was kind of starting to go into full pre-order mode. And I decided that the box set, like the new box set, was never going to go down to a price that low. And I wanted them, and as much as the new box set is shiny and new, I decided to get them this way because ultimately it's the same episodes, and this was much, much cheaper. Plus there is something to be said for the individual season packaging. I wish it was in, a fancy box on the outside, but I do like the individual season packaging, and I wasn't actually 100% sure how the other ones would be packaged. So anyway, I got them is what I'm saying here. And so this is all 8 seasons of Mannix. I've watched a few of these seasons now. I really do love this show. If you like, it's kind of it's very much a show of its era, which I think it started in the very end of the 60s. I want to say, yeah, the late 60s and into the 70s. But it's, I'm trying, I compare everything back to Columbo, but there is a certain, quality in the writing that is there with a lot of those mystery shows of the time. The actor who played Joe Mannix had also guest starred in, I don't know if it was multiple episodes of Perry Mason, but I know at least one, and in that that's actually why I'd gone and looked up Mannix more, was because he was really, really good in that. And I don't know how much, I should have done more research before doing this, but I don't know how much crossover there was between the writing staff, but it would not surprise me if some of the Perry Mason writers of those kind of, that kind of mystery show, that kind of quality of mystery, had also ended up doing this. There is definitely a, if you liked Ironside, this is another one that probably has a similar vibe. Each one's their own, but there's just sometimes little threads that seem to take them all together. But that kind of quality and mystery, and it has more action in it than a Columbo would, for sure. But I mean, most things have more action than a Columbo. Columbo certainly wasn't an action type mystery driven show, but this is, and I can't really think of what to compare it to. There's definitely elements probably of Magnum PI that Magnum PI took from this series, as far as the pacing and the kind of the running and getting to a place. But Magnum was also its own thing, which I also like. But if you like those type of shows, Mannix is definitely one to check out. And it's also one that Todd from Max Washington Songs had talked about a bit, and I'd seen a few episodes before, but that was one of the things that really helped push me into that decision. Though, thanks Todd if you're watching. And the next one I have here is the final season of WKRP. It had come out a little bit earlier. I ended up buying this one, I think, last winter, but I'd been kind of hoping to get it for Christmas, and then I didn't get it for Christmas, so this was one, again, that I got when I saw some of the sets, like the older sets dropped probably just under $15 Canadian, so I picked them up then. I have the other 3 seasons. I really love this. If you haven't got any of them and you like the show, Shout does have a box set of the full complete set that also has some different bonus features and that aren't on this, but I'd had the first season originally, so I hadn't got it, but then I found out afterwards that the first season is also kind of done better on that set than on the box set that or the little, like, you know, first season that I had from before, but again, I haven't compared them, so I'm not 100%, but I've read that. Anyway, this is a series I really enjoyed and liked. This one used to air all the time when I was a kid, so have been familiar with it for a long time, but it's been really fun to go back and rewatch as an adult, and they're ones that I can almost always just put on the DVD player and just chill out to. It's a show that I can so easily burn through a disc, like, there's only 3 discs in the thing, but I can easily watch a whole one, like, back to back. It's not a sitcom that you kind of are like, I'll just, you know, one at a time is fine, which is good and bad, I suppose. It's a bit easy, it's easy to binge. And the next one I have here is Tommy Boy. I'd seen this on I think it was on for like $2, so I picked it up. I don't know if I love this one. I watched this one quite a bit when I was back in, you know, high school. Farley and Spade were definitely a big, you know, comedy duo back then, and I liked them. I was probably always a bit more of a David Spade person than I was Chris Farley. I liked them both, but I really liked Spade's kind of wry comments, and found that quite intriguing and fascinating as, like, wordplay, and I don't know. Anyway, not so much wordplay, but just like the interaction of characters around him because of that snidness. And the next one I have here is a classic movie called We're Not Dressing, and this is a Bing Crosby and Carol Lombard with George Burns and Gracie Allen in a musical, and I have not actually watched this one from the DVD yet. I have, I believe, seen it, parts of it at least, on TV some time ago. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this. Sometimes I end up kind of saving a few kind of like as a rainy day movie, which not for rainy days, but actually just like bad, I'm kind of depressed, things are not going well kind of things. And this is one of the ones that I've set aside for, you know, just a day when I want something new, but also kind of that I expect I'll really enjoy. And here I've got a bit of a stack here, but this is Mr. Peepers Season 2. I had Season 1 already. This one, again, I kind of just stock stuff, and when it comes up on a really good price on like my Amazon wish list, or if I see it, I'll pick it up. This was one of those. I really like the old black and white sitcoms to kind of just, again, like either have on in the background or just at nighttime, like if I'm just needing something on the TV but don't really want to think. I love the black and white old sitcoms and family sitcoms, and this one is about a teacher at a junior high school. Yeah, so I thought this was nice. It's nice to have some new ones sometimes in that arena, because there's only, you know, some of them I've watched so many times now that it's really it's quite shocking, really, but it's also that you kind of tune out of them, and I like I said, I like having kind of a zone out television for the end of the night, so that's one of the ones I'm using for that. This one I'm not sure exactly when I got it, so I hope it hasn't been in a haul before, but it was, it might have stuck in. It's the second best Marigold Hotel. Love the first one, love the series. Judi Dench is my idol, really. I love her movies and TV shows. I really, you know, she's an actress I really like. Maggie Smith, Bill Nighy, all these great actors and actresses in this series. I won't talk too much in case I have talked about it before, but that is there. And this is another one that I saw on a like markdown day on Amazon quite a while ago, and it is Going My Way, the series. This is a remake of the Bing Crosby Going My Way film, and Gene Kelly takes on Crosby's role as the Catholic priest, and then Dick York from Bewitched is one of the other main characters, and Leo G. Carroll is the elderly pastor, and he's somebody that has been in tons and tons of movies. He was in Topper, and movies and television shows. Like, I guarantee if you were watching old movies or old TV shows from the 60s, you will recognize him, and probably almost more his voice when he comes on the screen. He's got a very distinctive voice. Played a lot of kind of grandfather type characters, or like curmudgeonly businessmen, that kind of thing. Anyway, I don't know why I'm going so deep in on him, but this is from 1962. I think it only got one season, or kind of two, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I had looked it up, but it's been a while since I read the full like bio of it or whatever. And again, this was one I wasn't quite sure what it would be packaged like, but it is on these flipper discs and all of that. It is one reason that really like pushed me, because I've been looking at this one for a while. I like the original movie. It's kind of right up my street and the type of thing I liked. But I'd been like, some of those can be so awful. But then I'd been trying to find an episode of it, because I'd never seen an episode of it before. I've been trying to find one on YouTube, no luck. But then I did see the opening theme, and so I thought, well, I'll watch that just to see what's there. And what I realized was that Bob Mosher and oh my goodness, anyway, the creative team that was behind Leave It to Beaver actually made this show. And at that point I was like, for the price that it was on for, which I think was under $20 or less, I was like, I'm gonna get that. Leave It to Beaver I absolutely loved. Really enjoyed the Munsters way more than I expected to. Like, it was a really good series. I really was not sure I was gonna like that, and really did. And so I thought, I'm gonna pick this one up because of the creative team and, you know, all the things I just listed with like the original movie and everything. So I did, and I wasn't disappointed. The picture quality is like fair to middling in a lot of them. Like, it's, you know, definitely not like the pristine clean picture that you'd expect if you were buying it from like a shout disc or you know, a totally restored one, but it's definitely fine, better than you know, the kind of public domain copies. I have not watched every episode of this, but I have watched a couple of the discs, and really, you know, it's of its time, and it's definitely not, it's slower and, you know, kind of the gentler, easier TV that way, but again, a nice, kind of end of the day, world's a nice place type of television show. And I really, I love watching all those old series, and actually seeing some of the ones that were not the kind of acclaimed ones has been interesting as I go along as well, because you can see the quality difference, but you can also see that some of it might have just been like the time slot or the era that it was, you know, it was like either a little bit ahead of its time or a bit behind, or just kind of didn't hit with where things were, what was happening in that moment. And so this is one that I kind of put into that category, because I don't see a huge reason why it, you know, wouldn't be a bit more remembered, or didn't get more of a chance, like more episodes or whatever. But having said that, like, you know, there could have been like 40 million people a week watching this, because stuff, you know, got canceled, but still insanely high views back then because it was not #1. Anyway, I'm again rambling today. And then I also have State Trooper. This is a like a police highwayman type show. It is on two individual packaged, and it's in a sleeve, which I like. It keeps them together, but also not too much extra bulk there. There's a bonus disc with episodes of Tales of Wells Fargo, The Men from Shiloh, Elias Smith and Jones, and Laramie. This is another show that like is just kind of very much of its era. It's not it's not one of the Cowboys and Indians one, but it's of that era, and it's interesting. I find them really interesting to watch. I like the type of mysteries. I like the mysteries and the kind of structure of those storylines. I find them very satisfying to watch, but this is another one that's very enjoyable, and much like all of those old, you know, shows, follows very much a formula, but you know, but again, if you like this kind of thing and you haven't seen this one before, it's, you know, quite good. I don't know, every so often there'll be like some episodes of YouTube, or some episodes up on YouTube. This one, at one point, they had, the ones I'd been watching had disappeared, but I had found some on there to like kind of see before I decided to end up buying. Sometimes you can find them and they'll go up and down as, you know, people file copyrights, and I definitely don't necessarily encourage you to only watch these shows that way, but if you're looking for something to get a bit of a sampling sometimes, Mannix also has I watched a few episodes on YouTube before I purchased that again too, after having not seen it for a while, so just to make sure that it wasn't anything that all of a sudden was like, oh no, definitely not, like just every so often stuff that even that you remember fondly from childhood I found to be very outside of what I'd watch now, so sometimes that's a helpful thing, but they do kind of come and go sometimes, so if you're looking for that, it's worth checking back every so often. Anyway, you probably know all this though, so I said it anyway so many times this video. But if you're, if you like this, or if you're, you know, have any of these, let me know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up. I'm trying to get back to some kind of schedule here, but I really don't know what I'll be able to do going forward. I'm going to try to keep putting something out every so often, and I'm aiming for weekly, but I mean, I just don't know how realistic that is for right now, when I am struggling to sit up like this. So we'll see. Oh, the other video, I forgot, the other thing I have here was Just Shoot Me. The complete series of Just Shoot Me. I am going to try to film a separate packaging review of this, but I'm going to have to probably do it another day. But I do have I'm going to do a packaging review of that one, because it's nice to see like more detailed packaging info on that, since it is new, but or relatively new. But anyway, yeah, if you're I forget where I was going with all this. Anyway, I'm really so happy to be back, and thanks for sticking with me if you have through my long absence. I'm hoping to be around more, so anyway, I'll see you soon. It's weird not saying next Wednesday, but I'll see you soon. Bye.